Hello, my name is Jan Mattes. I'm Chief Program Manager of Signavio Process Analysis and Mining, and I will now show you our first steps into the unification of process insights and process intelligence as announced by Silvio Arcangeli in the first week of November 2025. So what you see here is Signavio Process Insights, one of our two process analysis and mining solutions. And what I will show you now is an enhancement which is leveraging capabilities from process intelligence. And this is now about me analyzing the sales billing documents. You see that here in my personal start page, I have here a dashboard for order to cash processes. And there we see a tile for the sales billing document creation to accounts receivable clearing. And as I can see here, the number of and the monetary value of those items is basically significantly increasing. This is basically a caution for me. I want to understand that a bit deeper. Therefore, I go into that blocker itself and see the open and overdue accounts receivable items. You see basically the number in monetary value is a difference. So you look here now on the number of items, it's an increase, and also the percentage is rather flat. But if I show now the monetary value, which I have seen in my start page, then you get the notion, the amount of money that we have maintained here and the monetary value of that is increasing, whereas the number of items is also a bit increasing, but the percentage is rather flat. Let's understand that now a bit deeper by going into the process flow itself. And I understand something is going into the wrong direction. It's not that significant as the monetary value supposed, but definitely it's something I need to have a look at. And what I see here in the sales billing document to accounts receivable clearing is there are lots of blockers which are in red status, and also my completion rate and also the days to completion is not looking so good basically. But where to start? Of course, what is red requires my attention, but it's too much of red things. So I see here sales billing documents created after billing date, sales billing documents manually created. I see that sales billing documents not yet transferred to financials, and. So it's a bit of too much. Where to start, basically? To do so, we have basically now something very new and really groundbreaking available. You might have seen that little switch here, which is allowing you now to filter for the process variants that we have. And that is something you probably know from process intelligence. It's the variant analysis of all processes. It depicts the variations of your process flow, basically. And what you see here is basically a diagram which depicts your whole processes, and it depicts how many cases, how many objects you had flowing through those process flows, and also the cycle time. And the thickness of those connections basically indicates how much or how long it'll take. So you might say, wow, this is already a great overview, but it's a bit of too much. Help me, please. And therefore, you can easily filter now and sort by either the cycle time or the case time. So you see, now I sort by cycle time, and now I sort by cases. And you see basically that it's very, very easy also to switch between percentage value and the absolute values. So now I have a visualization which shows me all my process variants that I have here depicted all together. It's 25 in total, and the top 11 I see here on the right hand side. And if I now click on the first one, I see basically a very, very simple and the most relevant one. So it's from starting the preparation of the billing interface, it's creating the invoice automatically, it's then posting the invoice automatically to financials, and then also the clearing, and then the process usually stops, and ideally it stops with a payment run, so an automation step which is happening. So this is basically looking very good. Now let's look on the next biggest process variant, which is 10% of my overall processes. So that's basically now a deviation in my standard process where the majority of my documents flow. That's basically, that's the order related invoice. So only if the order is out, then the invoice will be started. I see the number of cases, it's 188 compared to the other, it's 1000. So you might say, well, it's not so super relevant, but it's important to understand, first of all, how your processes are going. Let's now extend to even another flow, and now it's getting more and more complicated. And therefore, let me visualize here with that little icon what flow is now added. That's the delivery related invoice. As soon the delivery is out, basically, and receive the customer, we can start the invoice process. You see basically how many documents are involved here. It's 127, and now extend further. And now I already have a good ratio of all of my documents running through. And now it's basically another step, which is prepare invoices others. That's a bit mystique now. What is it other? I need to understand. I need to deep dive, of course. Let's add a couple of more steps to see the full picture. Again, we've been adding here a deviation. So sometimes after the invoice interface setup, the process ends directly. That's basically also interesting. It's 106 cases. And now let's pick the last one. That's variation number 6. And that's basically another way how invoices get created. That's via periodic billing. It's 77 cases. So compared to the 1000, probably not the highest number, but important to understand. So what I could do now is I apply the top 6 variants as a filter to my process flow. And from that, the numbers will be looking different because now we only see those top 6 process variants in the process flow itself. Now it's still looking like, oh, too many reddish things. But the nice thing is now you can easily decide which filters to remove. So let's now remove 6. And you see the process flow, the numbers always changing. And I see lesser and lesser red ones. And if I now remove until step number 2, then basically you also see the number goes down significantly, and I now see clearer where I might be starting. So that's definitely an area. 84% here, we have 100% of the billing documents without any message sent out. Why? That's the question we need to answer. And if I take only the main variant, which has the 1000 of documents, you see 1002 documents, then I clearly can see, okay, it's only 2 which are really red. And if I want to improve what is already the main flow, then that is definitely a good idea to start with, because here I have the biggest lever to change something and to enhance something if I remove those obstacles, or maybe this aren't any obstacles. That's also possible. So let's now click on here that blocker to understand that blocker in detail. Compared to the industries, to my industry, this is not really looking good at all. That's what the benchmark telling me here. And I can now see basically, is there a specific country? Is it a specific division which is touched by that? Or is it a certain distribution channel? And you see it's the e-commerce distribution channel, a very obvious point here. So this is the flow which basically handles the e-commerce orders and the invoices coming from e-commerce. That's very interesting. And I have also here a new tab, which is the execution variants. Also for that blocker, I can do the very same kind of variant analysis. So again, I can be adding here now more process variants to see more details and understand deeper what is going on. And of course, with correction recommendations, I can then also get examples how to make my process even better. Let's click here on an example where we really have another view. So here you see the distribution. It's e-commerce, retail, and distribution channel 01, which have the problem. And that basically is a huge step forward for our customers, because now they can not only see the high level numbers, they can also analyze their process flows with process variants. So I hope you like this feature as much as I do, and be aware that the unification that has been announced by Signavio in November is still coming. So it's not yet there, but this is the first step, and more of that mergers of capabilities is to be expected in the early 2026 year and 2026 year. And basically, that's everything I wanted to share. I hope you liked, and stay tuned. And if you like it, of course, give a thumbs up in my YouTube channel. Thanks a lot.